You know her from iconic roles like the Vacation series, Christmas Vacation, European Vacation, Vegas Vacation. You've seen her as Patsy Cline. You've seen her in Entourage. She has lent her voice and her talents to so many projects over the years, and it is an honor to talk to somebody the caliber of Miss Beverly D'Angelo. She joins us on the show to talk about the Good House. We talk about a lot of things, though, her creative expression, where she what she likes to do as far as getting her craft to the next level. A one woman show she's been working on, and of course, we talk to her about Chevy. We talk a little bit about Entourage. We talk about the great Sigourney Weaver, and she's even great. She even says this performance by Sigourney Oscar worthy. We'll see if we can turn that nomination into Academy Award winner Sigourney Weaver. All that and more this time on The Collection with Beverly D'Angelo. And she joins me right now, and it's one of those rare treats where you get to actually talk to somebody who you've been a fan of for the entirety of your life. Beverly D'Angelo joins us this morning to talk about The Good House. Beverly, how are you doing this morning?
I'm doing great, Brad. Thanks for asking. Hello, Houston.
Yes. We're excited to hear your voice here on the Houston airwaves. We're talking about The Good House. This is a film that just came out last week. Sigourney Weaver, of course, yourself, Morena Baccarin, a great cast. Tell me about how have you felt the feedback? Because the reason I say that is Rotten Tomatoes, who I don't put a whole lot of stock in, but the critics love it and audiences love it. What have you thought about the feedback so far?
Well, I got to tell you something, because I'm big in truth in advertising. I'm only in this movie for a very, very brief time, but I am really, really happy to be able to talk about it because that Sigourney Weaver has turned in an Oscar caliber performance, and I got to watch how she worked and her approach as an actor, on the set, and it was very exciting. To be in that sandbox with all those wonderful actors, Paul Guilfoyle, Kevin Kline, David Rasche, and it's an important story. It's kind of like it's like a coming of age story for Sigourney. It's about a woman who has kind of, I don't know how to put it, gone awry, dealing with alcoholism and a business, her real estate business is kind of going down the tubes, but she finds love by reconnecting with her the boy that was too poor to marry in the first place. So it's a love story, and it's a story of survival and change and perseverance. And I love the story, and I'm just Sigourney Weaver's performance is fantastic.
Really
fantastic.
I'm so glad that you said that because somebody of your caliber, I mean, you're such a great actress. Everybody knows your breadth of material that you've worked on over the years. You write, you sing, you do all these things. But for me, personally, I'm saying I always like to surround myself with people whom I deem are better than I am in my chosen craft. I never want to be the smartest one in the room.
Isn't that the truth?
Yeah, I never want to be. I never want to be the best. I always want to surround myself by people who I can learn from. And it sounds like Sigourney, you were kind of sitting there in the corner and getting some notes.
Yeah, we really have that in common, Brett. We really do. I love to learn things, and that's been my path the whole time. I've always looked for, role models and mentors, and sought to be, in the company of people I deeply respect. By the way, speaking of being in company, I've been in Texas. I've shot in Texas a couple of times. I was based in the Dallas Fort Worth area though, but I love Texas, that big open sky.
Yeah, no, nothing like a Texas evening time. I'm telling you, with all the stars in the sky. I won't knock you for being in Dallas too much. Houston's a little bit better, but it's okay, Beverly. We're okay with that. Okay, but
That's right.
you actually say though that you're always looking to get better or find a mentor or what have you. Tell me if I got this wrong. I saw somewhere or heard somewhere that a couple of years ago, maybe you're still doing it, you went to the actor's studio to kind of sit in on classes to even get better and keep yourself sharp. Is that correct?
Well, I've been a member of the Actors Studio for a very long time. That's just part of my thing. My entrance into acting came through singing, so I didn't connect with it, complete. I wasn't one of those people who like, went to a bunch of acting classes as a kid or dreamed of movie stardom or anything. But I was singing. Started out as a singer with Ronnie Hawkins in Canada. Did a Broadway show. The movies opened up to me. First movies I did were musical films, The Hair, Coal Miner's Daughter. But as far as my love of acting, actually the truth is when I first left home, I worked with Hanna-Barbera Cartoon Studios. So I'm also not someone who had like a job as a waitress as I was striving for something. I've had an artistic life. I mean my life's really been about expression and the opportunities that I've had. But I think everything's a learning curve, and I'm always looking for ways to fortify means of expression. I don't know how else to say it. You know.
No,
So yeah, but
absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, I totally understand that. And to me, just knowing what I know about you, of watching you in films for forever, it seems like you are a true artist. And I know that you've been working on a one woman show. Is this right? How's the progress on this? Are
before
we
COVID, I had find because I've got so many stories, and I have such a unique story that I thought, well, I've just got to put this, in writing. So I did. I was ready to go on tour with a one woman show before COVID hit, and it's a series of monologues with there are a few songs in it. There's some archival footage, and there's some video that's kind of contextual that brings you to the place that I was as I tell my story. But that's kind of on hold for the moment. I think I might circle back to it in 2023. Right now, I'm going back and forth between Atlanta and my home base of Los Angeles, shooting a really nice recurring role in a CBS series called True Lies. It's going to air next spring, and it's kind of like a reboot. Well, the pilot is a reboot of the film that Schwarzenegger and Jamie Lee Curtis made, and it's about a mild-mannered suburban couple that is actually involved with international espionage. And I have a great role as the boss lady of all the bosses, Trilby. That comes out in the spring, and I have a big film coming out in December 2nd. Violent Night is a really fun film starring David Harbour, John Leguizamo, me, Edie Patterson from Righteous Gemstones, Alexis Louder, a great cast, and it's a real adventure. The trailer just dropped for that, Violent Night, and that can be found on the internet or YouTube, anywhere you look.
Okay, well, hey, I'm gonna have to check that out. You have all these projects you're working on. I heard you one time characterize the way that you sometimes select projects. I'm sure, obviously, the material has to speak to you, but you also said how long and how close. Is that still kind of your motto?
Way, 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 way back. No, 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 no. That's as I said. When the film business kind of, asked me to come in. I wasn't looking for it. I was thinking I was going to be a singer, but so and I had this tremendous kind of start many years ago. But I had twins when I was 49 years old, and by the time I was 54. I really had to step back from working at all because their father was working all the time. And I mentioned I was from Ohio, and the way I knew how to raise kids was to be. It's just I wanted to make sure there was one parent available to my kids, emotionally and physically at all times, whether it was me or their dad. And their dad was working a great deal, and it was really kind of a no-brainer for me to step back a bit. And so during those years when I was raising my kids, I did Entourage for 7 years, and I did
And you were awesome
TV, but
on it.
I things that were close and wouldn't take me away from kids. So I certainly stepped out of mainstream movies, for a long time. But they're grown now, and my engine's on, and so I am doing a lot of stuff these days.
I love that. By the way, in Entourage, you're Barbara Miller, of course, the character Barbara Miller. You were fantastic in that. That dialogue, the way that you delivered it was so sharp. It was so good. I only have about a minute left with you, so I'd be remiss if I didn't ask. And I'm sure you talk about it all the time, but we are getting close to the Christmas season. Christmas Vacation is one of my favorite movies of all time. I've had Jeremiah Chachik, the director, on before. We've talked in length about it, but I just found out that you did something on the set that made it into the movie that I've never seen before. You said that there was like
Well,
a one shot that y'all had and you snuck something in there. Do you know what I'm talking about?
oh, it was vacation. That's right. We were at the end of the day, and everybody was rushed. And I said to Chevy, "Hey, listen, I think can I do this? Because I'll bet they won't even notice it with all these people in the shot. And let's just see if it gets in." And he went, "Yeah, go ahead." So we did that.
Yeah, yeah. I love that. I love that. And
Now,
say again.
Christmas, and speaking of Chevy, I am going to be at Steel City Con, the autograph convention, December 9th, 10th, and 11th in Monroeville, Pittsburgh, just outside of Pittsburgh. Chevy and I are going to do a nice appearance and signing there in December.
Oh, awesome.
For the
Yeah. Everybody needs to get out.
vacation.
Everybody needs to get out to that Christmas vacations. It's held up so well. And so have you in everything that you've done. The Good House is
It's
it-
like it's part of everybody's Christmas.
it's literally a part of the American fabric at this point. Like
I
it's a
know.
must watch.
I know, it's fantastic.
It's incredible.
I love it.
And Chevy's still to me one of the greatest comedic actors of all time, whether it be physical or
Oh,
the way he delivers dialogue. He's second to none.
oh yeah. I know. He really claimed his space, didn't he?
Incredible, incredible. But the movie is called The Good House. Sigourney Weaver, of course, Beverly D'Angelo is involved. Check out all the projects you mentioned during this interview. Beverly, next time you're in Houston, give me a shout so I can show you what real Texas is about. Not like that Dallas place, but we don't hold it against you. We won't hold it against you. Have a great one.
Will do.